So Mike, I wonder if you can just sort of, in one word, what would sum up your strategic planning session in Halifax, but then you can talk more about specifics.
Okay. Disruption. Disruption would be the one word. I think what we're seeing as we move to a more on-demand world, more control by consumers over the technology which delivers content to them, that there are increasing pressures all down the value chain. So as we see cord cutting, broadcasters are arguing that there's less revenue in the system and therefore there's pressure on our margins. Technology is doing things like changing work. It's allowing a lot more content in the system from broadcasters for all intents and purposes that make no contribution to the Canadian system. So there's a lot of disruption that's going to put pressure on revenues and increase problems we face in terms of production financing.
So what are some of the options out there for, on the regulations?
Well, I think the number one thing is that everybody agrees to survive in an increasingly on-demand world. You have to make stuff that people want to watch. Which is not to say we haven't in the past, it's really to say there has to be a much more direct relationship between the producer and the consumer, whether that's in terms of market research, making things for on-demand platforms, or simply better understanding the back end of the business. And so a lot of our focus is going to be on how do we do things that generate more opportunity for private investment, whether that's in capitalizing the business or in closing production gaps.
Okay, and so the consumer is clearly king in this new universe. How do you address some of the concerns about there are Canadian content regulations out there? I mean, just the whole mechanism and the way our production industry works in Canada now. Does it have to change?
No, I don't think it necessarily all has to change. It has to adjust. So if you look at cable and satellite today, which is really what drives the revenues and advertising dollars that make high-value production work in the first place. It is still the most ubiquitous form of delivery of content, but the actual value proposition for consumers, at least from their perspective, seems to be out of whack. That they feel they're paying too much for bundles that are bloated with channels that nobody really wants to watch, so they want more choice in terms of control over the content they get. So, and that's really, I think, is what the dialogue, the conversation with Canadians, the CRTC is going to kick off, is going to be about. And I think the other thing we talked about is how we can be a thought leader in this evolutionary debate. And I think that we have a great opportunity here in terms of work you and a lot of the organizations you're working with on the dialogue with the Ion Canada opportunity, which is about promoting Canadian content. But I think that we can collectively be the voice of the creative community. Because the Commission is very focused on consumers, but they're also very focused on creators and they're very focused on citizens. So those are, if you want, the three corners of how they see the Broadcast Act working. And I think also, if you said to a consumer that if everybody had complete a la carte choice, that the ability to fund the quality programming that everybody's finding so exciting today would disappear, they would probably think twice. They would still want more opportunity to control and less of having channels that they and perhaps nobody else really sees have any value being forced on them. But they don't necessarily, nobody wants to go to an on-demand world where the meter's constantly running and you're paying for every show you want to watch. That is not, that's kind of the ultimate definition of a la carte, but I don't think it's really what anybody wants. They want to, I think at the end of the day, consumers want a decent value proposition that says I'm getting quality content for the money money I'm paying and I'm not paying for things that I don't want to want. It's very hard to find what the solution is there, but I think if we debate the grays, if we debate the nuance,
Yeah.
and get past the rhetoric of I want complete choice over everything on the platform, I want at the price I want to pay, and get into what that really means, I think there is the opportunity for solutions.
Thank you very much, Michael.